Hey guys, there really hasn't been much going on in these past 2 weeks. It's been a lot of me being sick and a lot of schoolwork, and I don't want to bore you with that because none of it's really that interesting. So I've got two quick things for you this week. The first is weird Aussie words. Now, these are words that you'll probably hear a lot of if you come down to Australia, and ones that we don't have in the United States, and confuse the hell out of me and my roommates. So, here we go. First one is heaps, such as, oh yeah, there were heaps of people down at the beach, or, oh yeah, this pizza is heaps good. Now, heaps means like a lot of, so there were a lot of people at the beach, or in the terms of heaps good, means that it's really good. They just use it way too much and all the time. The other one is no worries, which I do have friends in the United States who use no worries, but over here everyone uses the term no worries. It basically just means, oh, don't worry about it, or instead of saying like thank you, you're welcome, you would say thank you, and you say no worries. Third one is cheers, such as in cheers, which is the same as like thanks. Or if you're buying something, someone will just say cheers, and like it's a goodbye. Really basic words. Now there are some different ones. Petrol. Petrol is gas. We still don't understand what gasoline is down here because there's way different versions of it than there are in the United States. But if you hear petrol, they're talking about gas. Arvo. Arvo confused the hell out of me for 2 weeks until I realized that Arvo means afternoon. So you say, hey, I'm going to go to the beach this Arvo. That means I'm going to the beach this afternoon. Bogan. Bogan is a word that is similar to the United States rednecks. It's people that live out in the outback. So if you live out in the middle of nowhere, you're a bogan. Oh, chemist. When someone calls something a chemist, they're talking about a pharmacist. That also confused me, because someone told me that they were a chemistry major, and I said, oh, so you're going to be like pre-med? And they're like, no, I'm going to become a chemist. I was like, okay, so you're going to work for a company? And they're like, no, I'm going to work in a pharmacy. Oh, okay, a chemist is a pharmacist. Breck, or brekkie, is breakfast. That one confused me too, but you'll see it everywhere, and it's pretty easy to figure out. This one really sucks. We all know our alphabet. A, B, C, D, whatever. Now, in the Australian alphabet, it's W, X, Y, Z. That makes no sense. There is no such thing as the letter Z. It's not called Z, it's called Z. There's a huge stadium here in Sydney called the ANZ Stadium, because there's a company called ANZ. But that's not what they call it. It's called ANZ. All of our student numbers at UNSW have a Z before the number. So everyone always says Z and then their student number. I'm sorry, it's a letter, it's not a word. Oh, footy. When someone says footy, I always think of rugby, because I have heard people call rugby footy before. But footy is Australian rules football, which is an awesome game. University is college. So we call college. I'm in a university right now. They also call it uni. Now, that's fine with me. You're trying to shorten the word. But Americans don't call it uni because it just doesn't sound right. Only Australians should be allowed to call it uni. Because when Americans say, oh yeah, you know when I'm at uni or blah, 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 it just doesn't sound right. Just say college. The problem with that is college in Australia is boarding school or the residence hall where you live at your university. So when I say, oh yeah, you know my first year of college, they don't understand that. So you have to call it university. Also, they don't have grades. They're years. So when you're in 7th grade, it's year 7. When I talk about my high school and when I was doing something my senior year of high school, they don't know what I'm talking about. You're year 12. Your sophomore year, year 10. Freshman year, year 9. So on. Now I'm going to move on to food words, because this is where there's a lot of discrepancy. First of all, if you go to a restaurant and you see on a menu that you're looking at entrees, you're not looking at main courses. You're looking at appetizers, so keep that in mind. A main is a main course. That's kind of self-explanatory. Now, Macca's, such as in, oh yeah, let's go over and get some Macca's. That's McDonald's. I don't really dislike this, because in the United States we always call it Mickey D's, but some of my roommates, one in particular, has something against the fact that they call it Maccers. I don't know why, he just does, and it's a little weird. Also, Burger King is called Hungry Jack's. Now there's a story behind that one, in the sense that there was a restaurant already established in Australia called Burger King before Burger King got here, so they had to change the name. Capsicum. When you see capsicum on a menu, it means bell pepper. It's just a scientific name. I don't know why they don't just call it pepper. Probably because they have another word, chili, C-H-I-L-L-I, which means hot pepper. So you don't have jalapenos, you have chilies. I think it's an Asian influence. Tomato sauce. There's no such thing as ketchup here. It's called tomato sauce. Muesli. Muesli is another word for granola. I don't know why, they just like to call it muesli, but it's still the same and it's still delicious. Also, they have something here called rocket. Rocket is just another name for arugula. It's kind of like spinach or a green leafy vegetable that you can put on like pizza and pasta and stuff like that. But that's what rocket is. It sounds way cooler than it actually is. So that's my basic guide to strange Aussie words that you'll probably never hear anywhere else, except for maybe England or New Zealand. Now, the second part is my top 10 things that I miss about America that aren't people, because there are way too many people for me to list, and I don't feel like hurting anybody's feelings. Number 10, unlimited fast internet. Luckily enough for my apartment, we were able to find unlimited internet. But that's a hard commodity to find down here. Unlimited internet is a luxury that we have in America that they don't have. Mostly you pay by the gigabyte, and most of the time it's really expensive. Also, by having unlimited internet, our internet's also kind of slow. Which, it's an inconvenience, but it's not that bad. That's why it's number 10. Number 9, not having allergies. When you live in a tropical climate, there's a lot more plants that are going to screw up your face. Now, I normally get allergies when I'm in Chicago. When I'm in Indianapolis at school, I have none, because Indianapolis is a city out in the middle of a cornfield. It's a great place, but that's what it is. Here in Australia, they've just got a lot of plants and a lot of pollen, and that just wrecks me, and that's why I was sick for the last week and a half. Number 8, live sports on television. Now, they do have live sports on television here. NRL, which is Rugby League, AFL, which is Australian Rules Football League, they have that. But, for some reason that completely baffles me, the Rugby World Cup, which only happens once every 4 years, is always on tape delay. You cannot watch a live game here unless you go to a bar where they pay for cable. That makes no sense, and I miss being able to watch a game live as it happens at home. 7, cheap prices. Everything here is ridiculously expensive. Even though the exchange rate has dropped down to below $1 American dollar, which is awesome, everything here is really expensive, including booze, especially booze. Booze is the most expensive thing you can buy here. A 30 rack of beer is $45. That's absurd. 6, being able to drive. Being able to drive is one of the greatest things ever. I don't care if you're 15, 16, or if you're 86. Being able to drive is awesome, and I really miss being able to drive. They drive on the left side of the road here, and I can't drive. It sucks. So we walk, which is probably healthier, or take the bus, which is better for the environment. But I would still like to have a car. Number 5, American football. I grew up playing football. I played it for 12 years. It is my life. I miss it. I miss it dearly. Go Bears, go Buckeyes, go Steelers. Let's do this. Number 4, the college social structure. Now, in Australia, they don't live at school. They have a few residence halls, but only about 15 to 20% of the students actually live on campus. Most commute. I've had this discussion with many Australians before, and honestly, they don't like it either. The problem is, for us, going to college is an extremely big life-changing event. We go off, we're independent from our parents for the first time ever, we're in a group of people we've never met before. I was lucky enough to have one friend from my high school be at my school that I was friends with. And that was great. But for most kids, you don't get that. Here in Australia, you don't make college friends. You go to school, yeah, you see them, you're in class with them, but it's just not the same. And it sucks. Because it means that the community of the college or the university is not as tight-knit as it is at home, and it just kind of sucks. They don't get the same experience that we do. They don't leave home. It's not a big independence thing for them like it is for us. And honestly, I think it's kind of hurting their students. Number 3, food. I want Lou Malnati's pizza more than I want anything else in the world. If you've never been to Chicago, go. Get Lou Malnati's pizza. It will change your life. Also, I miss Portillo's, another Chicago staple. I just want a chili dog. I would love to have a Portillo's chili dog. This weekend is the NRL Grand Final, which is like their version of the Super Bowl for rugby. I want buffalo wings. I really want buffalo wings. They don't have buffalo wings here. They don't even have Tabasco sauce here. It sucks. Lastly, yeah, they have KFC. They have Burger King. They have McDonald's. They don't have Taco Bell. I hate McDonald's. I love Taco Bell. I want Taco Bell, especially a cheesy gordita crunch, because those are the best thing on the menu. Number 2, I miss Butler. My school at home, Butler University, is amazing. Granted, I know that I'm a little biased because I'm a student there, but my friends who have visited and people who've been there on exchange like I am here, both all agree with me that Butler is a severely special campus. It's so different from everywhere else because the sense of community is so strong, and the fact that we all pull together and we all know one another and that we're all there working together. It's just different, and I miss it a lot. Now, 2A, I miss Phi Psi. I'm a fraternity boy. I like my brothers. I miss them a lot. But the thing is, that I'm not talking about people. I'm talking about the house. Our house, sometimes we sit around and we say, man, this place sucks. But you know what? For every time we say that, there's 10 times that we would never, ever give up the memory that we made there. And I miss that. I miss being away from my brothers and being away from everything that we do that's so good, and being around all the people that we influence day to day because we're Phi Psis. And because, well, Phi Psis were awesome. Free Phi Psi. And the number one thing I miss about America, fall. Right now, it's fall at home. I miss fall. I had a discussion with my friend Lauren the other day about this. Everyone has one smell that I refer to as home smell. It's that one thing that just brings you back to life. The smell for me, crisp autumn breeze when someone is burning leaves. I don't know what it is about that smell, but for me, it just brings me back to home and sitting out in front of my house on Halloween, walking to school with my best friend when I'm 7 years old. I miss that, and the only time you ever smell it is during fall. Sometimes you get it during winter around Thanksgiving, but once Christmas comes, it's gone, and you don't get it until fall again. And that's what I miss. We're in the middle of spring, and yeah, they have fall here too, but it's just not the same. Going from being 90 degrees down to 60 degrees, that's not fall. Going from 90 or 100 degrees down to 40 degrees, that's fall. And that's what I miss about America. So I hope that you've learned a lot about Australia, what I miss most about back home. And I'm glad to say that that's my top 10. Those are some words that you might find helpful. And as of right now, I'm going to go do nothing because it's Labor Day weekend here in Australia and I have nothing to do for the next 2 weeks. It's kind of great and it's kind of, well, I might get a little bored, but it should be some fun. So I guess that's all I got to say, and I'll see you guys in about 2 weeks, and free Phi Psi. See ya.